Discover how a poor girl's heartwarming act changed her life in 30 days with an incredible secret. Lily Thompson stood at her kitchen window, the evening sun casting warm shades of orange across the worn countertops. Her mother lay in the next room, battling both illness and the weight of missed bills. Their small town was filled with silent struggles, neighbors caught in the grind of making ends meet. And yet, beyond her family's hardship, Lily's heart surged with dreams of a better life. A life where love conquered the gloom. Then the bombshell dropped. Mr. Thompson, the beloved war veteran who always had a kind word and a shared smile, lost his home to medical bills. The community, burdened and defeated, turned away. But not Lily. A fire ignited inside her, a fierce belief that it didn't have to be this way. Neighbors helping neighbors, she declared, her resolve as sharp as a sword. With trembling fingers, she launched the campaign on social media. Her pulse raced as she posted, hoping her friends would see the light. Yet faces in the bustling halls of high school met her with skepticism. "You really think we can help? We're all struggling," they sneered, folding their arms like walls between them. Lily felt her heart sink into a pit of doubt. Could her little idea change anything? Each no felt like a knot tightening in her chest. But the thought of Mr. Thompson sleeping on the street pushed her onward. "Every penny counts," she said, though she felt the weight of the world on her shoulders. After school it became her mission, her heartbeat. The world was heavy with indifference. Yet she clung to the stubborn idea that love and unity could lift them higher. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Days turned into a blur as hope flickered dimly. One night, as Lily sifted through the donations, a comment caught her eye. "I want to help, but I can't." It hit hard. How could she believe in a community that didn't believe in itself? Just when doubts began to creep in, a message shimmered on her screen. "I've got $20, and I'll do a fundraiser at the diner this weekend." It was from Eric, a classmate known more for his silence than his kindness. That flicker grew into a flame, small yet powerful. With renewed spirit, Lily rallied her peers. Ideas bubbled up, laughter replaced doubt, and for the first time they felt like allies instead of adversaries. But then came the moment of greatest impact. Mr. Thompson appeared at the fundraiser. Tears filled his eyes as he saw the community rallying spirit changing, and though Lily felt the tug of fear, she stepped forward and looked into his eyes, lighting a path for hope. But just as things seemed to align, one final twist awaited her. An unexpected secret tied this community together in ways she never imagined, a discovery lurking just out of reach, waiting to be unveiled. What could it be? Would it pull them closer or tear them apart? The future hung in the balance, and so did Lily's destiny. Lily stood on the small stage in the diner, the scent of fry oil and warm pastries mingling with the rich aroma of hope. The room buzzed with chatter and laughter, the excitement of her classmates filling the air. Her heart thudded in her chest, feeling both the weight of expectation and the thrill of possibility. This was their moment, a chance to show Mr. Thompson he wasn't alone anymore. As she looked out at the familiar faces, she noticed Eric, his shy smile brightening as he chatted with two girls from their class. They had stepped up, embracing this mission with an unexpected passion. For once, the town felt alive with unity, a beautiful tapestry stitched together by their shared determination. The fundraiser started with an air of nervous enthusiasm. Local bands played, some brave souls attempted karaoke, and tables overflowed with homemade treats, the clear jars of cookies shining like treasure. As the donations piled up, so did promises and stories from a community hungry for hope. "Every dollar gives Mr. Thompson one more night under a roof," Lily reminded everyone, her voice ringing clear. The crowd cheered, the sound echoing like a heartbeat, pushing her forward, but deep down, a whisper of fear lingered. What if this all fell apart? What if the money wasn't enough? She caught herself stealing glances at the door, half expecting something to spoil this beautiful moment. Then, as the evening wore on, a hush spread across the room. An elderly woman, Mrs. Garvey, shuffled forward. Everyone fell silent, knowing her well, a foundation of the town herself. Her voice quavered yet still carried weight. "I want to share something," she began, glancing back at Mr. Thompson, who sat humbly at the back of the diner. "Many years ago I was in a dark place too. My husband lost his job and we struggled. But folks in this town pulled together for us. People gave what they could, just like you all are doing now." A wave of emotion washed over the room as she continued. "That's what we do here. We support each other. And when you think you can't, remember that kindness is like a spark. It can ignite a fire." Lily felt tears prick at her eyes. She understood now. The struggles had stitched them all together. Each story a thread in a much larger tapestry than just her own. They weren't merely neighbors anymore. They were a family bound by resilience. Then, as the night progressed, Lily found herself standing alone for a moment, lost in thought. The diner glowed with soft lights, laughter echoing, but she felt a tingling at the back of her mind. Something wasn't quite right. That thought lingered, growing heavier. She turned to see Eric talking animatedly to a group, a glimmer of determination in his eyes. The way he spoke, it reminded her he'd once been so silent amidst the chatter of their peers. There was something compelling he hadn't shared yet. Just as a rush of excitement filled her again, she noticed Mr. Thompson slipping quietly out of the diner. Concern washed over her, shaking the moment's joy. Was he leaving? Did he misunderstand their intentions? "Wait!" she called out, her heart racing. Rushing after him, the door swung shut behind her, plunging her into the cool night air. Stars glittered above, but Lily's thoughts were still on the warmth inside the diner, the laughter, the support. "Mr. Thompson!" she shouted, her heart pounding as she emerged into the street. He paused, and she could see the confusion etched on his face. "I didn't want to intrude, Lily. I'm grateful truly, but she wasn't ready to let this moment slip away." "You're not intruding. You're part of this community, part of us. We need you to know." As he turned to face her fully, his eyes caught her own, and for a moment, the chaos of the diner faded into silence. They stood on the brink of something vital, a potential revelation simmering just beneath the surface. "There's something I haven't told you about why I lost my home," he murmured, the weight of unfinished stories hanging in the air. What truth lay hidden beneath that layered pain? Would it draw them closer together or break apart the fragile bond they had built? Lily's heart raced. Whatever it was, it felt like a turning point, a moment that could change everything. Lily's breath caught in her throat as she waited for Mr. Thompson to continue. The streetlights flickered, casting a gentle glow on their faces as shadows danced around them. It felt as if the entire world held its breath, suspended in time. He began slowly. "You see, it wasn't just the job loss. It was my health. Things spiraled and it got to a point where I couldn't keep up." His voice trembled slightly, but the determination in his gaze remained fierce. Lily's heart ached for him. Life could unravel so quickly, and she understood all too well how fragile their circumstances could be. "Mr. Thompson, you don't have to face this alone. We're here for you," she urged, stepping closer, feeling a stir of protective instinct for this man who had meant so much to her education. He shook his head, a mixture of gratitude and shame on his face. "I just didn't want to burden anyone. Especially not you kids. You have your whole lives ahead of you. But we want to help." Her words blurted out, a mix of passion and desperation. "You're part of our lives and we need you. That's what this is all about." Mr. Thompson looked down at the ground, his eyes glimmering with unshed tears. "I guess I never thought about it that way. I've always been the one helping. It's difficult to accept kindness when you're used to giving it." His words resonated deeply with Lily. It was a truth they all shared, the struggle to accept help, to allow others into their pain. She reached out, placing her hand on his shoulder, grounding both of them in the moment. "You're stronger than you know. Take strength to let others in. But look around you, we want to be here for you. You have no idea how many people care." Suddenly, the door to the diner swung open, blurred with the sounds of laughter and music spilling out into the night. Eric emerged, eyes wide with worry. "Lily. Mr. Thompson. Are you okay?" "We're fine, Eric," she replied, nodding at him to calm down. "We're just talking." "Talking about what?" Eric pressed, brows knitted together, scanning Mr. Thompson's face for signs of trouble. Lily exchanged a glance with Mr. Thompson, who gave a small nod of encouragement. "I was just telling Lily why I lost my home. It's not an easy thing to admit. Eric's expression shifted, a mix of concern and understanding crossing his features. You're not a burden. We want to hear it all, Mr. Thompson. You've taught us so much. Let us be there for you too. A wave of warmth washed over Lily at Eric's words. She saw the light in Mr. Thompson's eyes flicker again, a spark of hope igniting within. Thank you. All of you. I've been so afraid to ask for help I thought it would make me less of a teacher, he confessed, his voice wavering under the weight of his vulnerability. Your strength isn't in what you give, but in knowing when to accept help, Lily said softly. We're not just students learning from you. We're friends who want to lift each other up. A stillness enveloped them, and for that moment the world felt right. They were weaving a tighter bond, loosening the grip of isolation and fear that had shadowed Mr. Thompson's heart. But just then, the laughter inside took a sudden turn as a loud commotion broke out. People were gathered around the dessert table, and Lily felt a twinge of anxiety. What was happening over there? Let us get back inside, she said to Mr. Thompson and Eric, urging them back to the warmth and laughter of the diner. As they stepped within, the energy had shifted dramatically. Lily's stomach twisted with anticipation. What could have sparked such a ruckus? They hurried to the cluster of students, and as they pressed in closer, the wonder on their faces turned to disbelief. There, standing on a chair, was Jessica, her arms raised high, holding a check above her head. I can't believe it, Jessica cried out, her voice carrying across the room. The bake sale's earnings came to $1,000. Cheers erupted, and while joy engulfed the room, Lily felt a shadow creeping in. $1,000 was incredible, but somehow her mind wrestled with the reality of it. What if it wasn't enough? Standing beside Mr. Thompson, she felt an urgency grow, creeping back like a tidal wave of worries. She needed to know his thoughts. She needed him to be hopeful. As the celebrations continued, she caught his eye and whispered, "What do you think? Is it enough?" He looked down, the flicker of fear rekindling in his gaze. It's a good start, but what? What lay beneath his calm facade? And in that moment, Lily felt the weight of their journey ahead, recognizing they were in this together. Each layer of truth peeled away had opened new paths, but they were still at the edge of something unknown. A deep breath before the plunge. With hearts still racing, they stood on the precipice of change, waiting to embrace whatever came next. The air in the diner buzzed with excitement, but beneath the surface, a tension simmered. Lily could feel it coiling around her as Mr. Thompson stared at the check in Jessica's hands. The dollar amount, a beacon of hope for the students, cast shadows in Mr. Thompson's eyes. Good start? She pressed gently. What do you mean? His lips tightened into a thin line. It might cover some immediate needs, but he hesitated, scanning the crowd of students who were celebrating, blissfully unaware. It won't solve everything. I still have things to consider: bills, medical expenses. It's overwhelming. Lily's chest felt tight. Hope had swelled in their hearts, but now it felt like they were puncturing a balloon. Mr. Thompson, we can. Lily, he interrupted, his voice firm yet delicate. You've already done more than I could have imagined. Your support means the world to me, but I don't want you to feel responsible for my entire life. She straightened, determination hardening her resolve. We are responsible for each other. That's what friends do, right? We can brainstorm ways to raise more money, organize something, anything. Absolutely, Eric chimed in, a spark of enthusiasm lighting his eyes. We could hold another bake sale or maybe a car wash. Everyone loves a good car wash. His eyes danced as he thought of the possibilities, but Mr. Thompson shook his head gently. It's sweet of you both, really, but there's more to it. Simply having funds doesn't guarantee stability. There are rules, deadlines, and if you're lucky, some government assistance, but nothing is quick. Lily felt a lump in her throat. Why was it so easy for adults to drown in the details and complexities? The urgency of their situation clawed at her insides, leaving her feeling small. There has to be something we can do. We won't give up, not now. Mr. Thompson took a deep breath, surrendering to the moment. You kids are incredible. I admire your spirit. Perhaps I'm the one who needs to change. I've gotten too used to carrying my burdens alone. There was a softness to his voice that broke her heart, but it also ignited a flicker of courage that, as if on cue, Jessica hopped down from her perch, sprinting over with a wide smile. What's the plan, gang? How do we celebrate this victory? Lily looked around at the class, the same students who had sat quietly at their desks, and saw something shift among them. Every face, once dimmed by pressure and uncertainty, now glowed with determination. They were ready to take action. "Here's what we'll do," Lily announced, her voice rising above the chatter. "We rally together this week. Everyone contributes ideas. We figure out the logistics, the timeline, everything. And we keep Mr. Thompson in the loop." A chorus of agreement rippled through the crowd. Excitement replaced the gloom as hands shot up, sharing crazy yet brilliant ideas: talent shows, yard sales, and bake-offs all on the table. Mr. Thompson's eyes widened in surprise, the flicker of hope growing brighter. I just don't want you to feel overwhelmed by it all," he said quietly, humility lacing his words. Lily took a step closer, her heart pounding. "This isn't just about you, Mr. Thompson. It's about all of us being together. We're a team now, right?" Suddenly, a pang of fear washed over her. It was easy to say the words, but as their collective energy rose, she wondered if they could truly pull it off. Would it be enough? They were venturing into uncharted territory, their hearts filled with conviction yet layered with doubt. The students began to gather in clusters, brainstorming ideas that crowded the space with vibrancy. Mr. Thompson managed a smile, the shadows lifting just slightly from his shoulders. Lily caught his gaze, hoping desperately that her belief could erase every worry lingering in his mind. And in that moment, a silent pact was formed in the bustling diner, the promise of togetherness. Just then, an unexpected voice cut through the enthusiasm. "Excuse me, everyone. May I have your attention?" It was the diner's owner, a broad-shouldered man with an infectious smile that had always felt like home to Lily. He cleared his throat, glancing at the check in Jessica's hand and back to the crowd. "I couldn't help but overhear. How about we partner with you? I have some ideas that could help turn this into something big." The room hushed. Anticipation crackled in the air as Lily's heart raced. What was his plan? And suddenly she felt the weight of the night all over again. Every challenge before them loomed large, but with a mix of fear and hope. She whispered almost to herself, "Could this be the shift we need?" The answer waited just out of reach. The diner owner stepped forward, his presence commanding attention. "Listen, I think we could do something incredible together," he began, his voice booming yet warm. "What if we hosted a community event? A fair? We could invite local businesses to sponsor booths, organize games, and even have live music. This could draw everyone in and raise a lot of money for Mr. Thompson and anyone else who needs it." Excitement ricocheted around the room. Lily felt a surge of energy shoot through her. This was it. This was a chance to not only help Mr. Thompson, but also strengthen the bond within their community. "What do you think?" the diner owner continued, scanning the hopeful faces. "With the right advertising, we could turn it into a full-blown event. We just need volunteers." Jessica pumped her fist in the air. "Count me in. I can handle social media and get the word out." Eric bounced in his seat. "I can help with setting up the games. We could have a dunk tank, and everyone would love to dunk Mr. Thompson." He chuckled, eyes sparkling with mischief. The laughter shared at the thought lightened the heavy atmosphere. Mr. Thompson's eyes glimmered with something Lily hadn't seen in a while: belief. Maybe they could pull this off. "All right then." Lily chimed in, her heart racing. "We should divide into groups. Who wants to handle logistics? Who'll take charge of entertainment?" Hands shot into the air again. Ideas flowed, tumbling over one another. Lily felt like she was standing on a precipice, ready to leap. Her pulse quickened at the thought of all they planned to tackle. They might be a group of students, but in this moment they were warriors banding together for a common cause. Just as the title of the event was setting in motion, Community Spring Fair for Change, a thought flashed in her mind. What if the fair could be a platform not just for raising money but also for sharing their personal stories? Could they change the conversation around their struggles, their lives, and what it meant to support each other? What if we invited people to share their stories at the fair? "We could have an open mic," she blurted out, her heart hammering at the implications. A hush fell over the room. The concept seemed to hang in the air like a fragrant breeze from the kitchen. It was bold, but it could resonate deeply. One by one their faces lit up. "That would totally connect us," someone said. "Yes, Another chimed in. Lily felt their resolve thickening as they began to speak about hopes, tears, and laughter that wrapped everyone in a comforting embrace. It felt tangible now, the connection. Together they would tell their stories and raise funds and, in turn, uplift Mr. Thompson and all who struggled. Mr. Thompson leaned against the counter. His expression softened as he listened. You have all made this old man feel incredibly proud. Thank you. The room was alive with ideas and energy. Responsibilities were divvied up like candy at a carnival. It thrilled Lily more than anything else. But just as they began making plans, an intimidating thought coursed through her. What if they failed? What if all this effort led to nothing? Trembling at the thought, she pushed it aside, focusing instead on the joy bubbling up inside her as the night wore on. The threads between everyone grew tighter. Plans transitioned from just ideas to an undeniable reality. Yet a quiet fear tickled the back of Lily's mind. Would the community come together like they envisioned? Would they all be willing to share their vulnerabilities? Would it change anything at all? Little did she know, all those questions would soon demand answers. The next morning, an unexpected post on a popular social media page would set everything in motion, and the ripple effects would be felt far beyond the diner. What would that post reveal, and how would it alter their mission? The chance for transformation was just around the corner, waiting impatiently for the right moment to unfold. The sun rose brighter the next day, spilling golden rays into Lily's bedroom. An eagerness bubbled inside her as she thought about the fair. Today was the day they would start preparing, setting the wheels in motion for something truly special. She hopped out of bed, her heart racing with excitement. As she grabbed her phone for a quick check of social media, her breath caught in her throat. A post from the popular local influencer Jake blared across the screen. Excited for a spring fair that promises inspiring stories and tons of community fun. Let us make a difference together. The photo accompanying it displayed a colorful flyer with their event details. Oh wow, Lily whispered, her heart bursting with joy. She didn't even realize how much a simple post could amplify their efforts. It felt like the universe was tipping its hand, urging them forward. She quickly texted Jessica and Eric. You guys won't believe it. Jake just posted about the fair. We need to capitalize on this. The responses flooded in. Jessica was giddy, sending back endless emojis. Eric was already brainstorming ideas for booth attractions, which made Lily smile. A spark of hope ignited in the group as they texted back and forth, their energy palpable even through a screen. Feeling unstoppable, they met at the diner after school, just hours later. The atmosphere buzzed, alive with possibilities as everyone shared their visions for the fair. The open mic idea was now a thrilling centerpiece, encouraging not just fun but heartfelt connection. Lily volunteered to reach out to a few local artists she knew. We can have some performers, maybe even a local band, she proposed, her mind racing with excitement as they brainstormed. The diner owner swept over with freshly brewed coffee and towering plates, pouring encouragement over them. You kids are really onto something. Just wait until everyone sees what you're cooking up. His pride wrapped around them like a warm blanket. But whenever bliss filled the room, that nagging fear crept back into Lily's mind. Sure, the post had brought attention, but would it be enough? What if they still fell short? What if no one showed up? Just then Jessica nudged her shoulder. Hey, it's going to be fine. We're all in this together. Just think of Mr. Thompson and what this means. It was true. For every bit of worry there was a flicker of hope. As they rallied around their shared purpose, the feeling that they could truly change something became undeniable. After 3 adrenaline-fueled hours of planning, they spread out at the counter, each exhausted but smiling. About to call it a night, a sudden notification chimed on Lily's phone. It was another message from Jake, but this one took her breath away. Excited to announce, I'll be hosting the open mic at the community spring fair. Can't wait to hear your stories. The room erupted in cheers and laughter, the energy surging once more. It felt like everything was shifting, every moment swirling into something bigger than any of them. For the first time, Lily felt tears prickling her eyes, tears of hope, of relief, and that moment. The only thing that mattered was the community wrapping around them, a family forged from shared stories and struggles. Yet, with that jubilant wave of emotion, another question loomed in the back of her mind. They had set everything in motion, but would the weight of their own stories be too much to bear when the moment came to share them? As the night faded and everyone went their separate ways with warm hearts, Lily was left gazing at the flicker of her phone screen. The ripples they created felt real, yet a fear gripped her anew. Would they be prepared when the time came to unveil their truths? And the question hung heavy in the air: what would be revealed under those bright stage lights? And would they find the courage to share? The morning came with a slight chill in the air, but Lily felt the warmth of possibility wrapping around her like a cozy blanket. She woke up with determination coursing through her veins. Today was pivotal. The planning for the fair was about to enter a new phase. After a quick breakfast, she texted Jessica and Eric once again. "Let's South meet at the park to finalize our plans. We need to keep the momentum going." Within moments came their enthusiastic replies. Jessica was on her way, and Eric was already there scouting out the best spots. Lily strolled through the streets, her mind playing out scenarios for the fair, excitement bubbling with every step. But as the trees swayed gently in the breeze, the tether of worry tugged at her heart. Could they really pull this off? She bit her lip, silencing the self-doubt. They had the support. They had each other. That had to mean something. When she reached the park, Eric was pacing back and forth at the pavilion, jotting notes furiously. Jessica bounced over, her ponytail swaying like a banner of enthusiasm. "Okay, superstar team. Let us set our priorities." They unfolded a big piece of paper, laying out everything they had envisioned so far. They sketched booth ideas, performer names, decorations, and even a timeline. The energy was electric. Each new idea felt like a spark igniting their path to success. But just as the thrill built, Lily's heart sank when she thought of the open mic. What if people don't want to share? They might find it too hard, she admitted, her voice low and anxious. Jessica placed a reassuring hand on Lily's shoulder. "But isn't that the point? To be real? Everyone has a story. We just have to encourage them." "Yeah, you're right," Lily replied, but she couldn't shake a lingering doubt. They all had their own stories, some lighter than others. What if her truth wasn't good enough? As they continued brainstorming, the sound of laughter drifted in from a nearby playground. Kids squealed in delight, and their joy penetrated that nagging worry like sunlight through clouds. How could they harness that spirit for the fair? What if they created an atmosphere where every ounce of vulnerability felt safe? "I think we need a theme," Eric chimed in, his eyes lighting up. "Something that resonates. Something like 'Together we rise.' We're doing this as a community." The slogan hung in the air, swirling with potential. Felt fitting. They were all carrying something, right? A burden, a hope, a dream. It was worth sharing. Suddenly, Lily's heart raced again. "Okay, but we need a way to make it personal. What if we share our own stories first? Go up and break the ice. If we take that leap, maybe others will too?" Jessica nodded enthusiastically. "Exactly. We can show it's okay to be vulnerable. Together we can create this connection." The idea spread like wildfire, igniting a new fervor between them. For the first time, the thought of revealing their truths didn't feel so daunting. Instead, it felt freeing, liberating even. They would set the tone for the fair. Just as they began to fill their minds with plans for sharing, a sudden clap of thunder echoed in the distance. Dark clouds rolled in, casting shadows over the park. "Looks like rain," Eric muttered nervously. Lily felt her excitement waver as the ominous weather loomed overhead. Would this change everything? But then she glanced at her friends, their faces reflecting the same uncertainty turning into determination. "Let us not let weather dampen our spirits, okay?" She rallied. "If we can make it through, maybe so can others. We just need to stick together." But deep inside, a shiver of doubt lingered. What if the storm wasn't just of bad weather? What if it revealed deeper turbulence within them all? As the first drops began to fall, Lily took a breath, ready to fight through this storm of emotion. Would they remain steadfast in their commitment to share? Would they rise together, even as clouds filled the sky? And as the rain began, questions hung heavy in the air: what trials awaited them ahead? And would they find the strength to face them? The rain came down in steady drizzles, washing over the park like a cleansing flood. But the trio stood firm beneath the pavilion. They huddled together, a unified front against the gloomy weather. The distant rumblings of thunder put a slight tremor in Lily's heart. Yet she drew a deep breath, reminding herself of why they were there. "Let us keep going," Jessica said, her voice bright even as droplets splattered around them. We can totally weather this storm. Literally and figuratively. She pulled out her phone, quickly taping notes for their ideas about the fair. Okay, what about engaging the community? Eric started. We could ask the local coffee shop to sponsor refreshments. Maybe even get a donation for decorations from the flower shop down the street. Lily smiled, feeling a surge of energy from the thought of support that felt secure. Yes, we can reach out to them. Let us show everyone that this isn't just our fair, but for all of us. Just then, a particularly loud peal of thunder shook the ground beneath them, causing a ripple of unease to course through her. What if we can't pull this off? Lily blurted, her worries slipping through the cracks. What if no one comes? What if it's a disaster? Her friends fell quiet, the moment heavy. Eric looked at her, his brow furrowed. What if it's the exact opposite? What if people come together and share a moment that changes everything? His words echoed in her mind like a promise. They had the potential to create something meaningful. I get that, she stuttered, trying to gather her resolve. But what if we're the only ones telling our stories? What does that even mean? Jessica squeezed Lily's hand. It means we kickstart the courage others need. Every story, every person counts. You'll see. We're in this together. Her confidence was magnetic, wrapping around Lily like the sun breaking through clouds. Just as Lily felt that familiar spark of hope, the rain picked up, splattering harder against the metal roof. For a moment they all looked out at the park, drenched in gray. Let us get moving, Eric finally declared, pulling out a large umbrella from his bag. We can scout out spots for the booths. I want to see where the best foot traffic will be, and maybe others will join us. With the shelter around them, they stepped into the rain. They darted from the pavilion to the nearest section of the park, giggles escaping them as they splashed in puddles. Each step carried them away from worry, if only for a moment. Yet once outside, while running toward an open space, Lily glanced at a group of kids playing in the downpour, laughter echoing around them. They were fearless, throwing caution to the wind. Their joy radiated warmth that squeezed Lily's heart right out of her chest. That's what we need, she exclaimed suddenly. A space where everyone can just be themselves, where we celebrate imperfections and find joy in the messiness. Let us add messy fun to our theme. Jessica shouted over the rain, her spirit unbending. What if we set up a splash zone for the fair? Eric chimed in with a growing grin, envisioning the chaotic scene. Contests, games, it could be crazy fun. Lily laughed, feeling lighter. Yes, if we can embrace the rain, then maybe others will embrace their stories too. As the rain softened to a gentle mist, they returned to the pavilion, bubbling with new energy, their fears momentarily subdued. Yet just when she thought they could bask in their triumph, Lily caught a glimpse of a figure just beyond the trees, watching them. A flicker of dread shot through her. Guys, does it feel like someone else watching us? She asked, gripping the notepad tightly in her hands. Her friends followed her gaze, the brightness on their faces dimming, uncertainty creeping back in. Who was out there? And what did this mean for their plans? As the clouds shifted above, Lily felt a storm rising again, one that held questions yet to be answered. Would this new challenge bring them together more? Or would it tear apart their fragile hope? A soft rustle came from the edge of the trees, drawing their attention. Lily's heart raced, a drumbeat of apprehension echoing in her chest. The shadowy figure stepped forward, revealing a child, no older than 10, damp and shivering but standing with a strange defiance in her gaze. Who are you? Jessica called, her voice brightening again, though it quivered slightly. The girl hesitated, her dark hair clinging to her forehead, droplets mingling with tears that glistened on her cheeks. I'm just watching. I like fairs. Her voice was small, barely rising above the sound of the rain, yet it held an undeniable strength. Lily felt a tug at her heart. Was this girl alone? A quick glance at Jessica and Eric confirmed their shared concern. Do you want to join us? Lily asked, stepping towards her with a smile of encouragement. We're planning our fair and could use your help. The girl blinked, surprise flickering across her face. Really? You want me to help? Yes. We all have something to contribute, Eric added, kneeling to her level. We're going to create something fun and exciting for everyone. With a shiver, she wiped her nose with the back of her hand, then took a hesitant step forward. What do you need? The trio exchanged glances, surprised but thrilled. We need ideas. Jessica started excitedly. What kind of games do you think kids would like? The girl's eyes lit up. The warmth developing at the edges was contagious. There should be a water balloon fight. And maybe face painting. Yes. Lily laughed, her worries dissipating. Those sound amazing. What's your name? Crystal, she stated proudly, her smile creeping wider now that she was with them. Welcome to the team, Crystal. Eric grinned. Let us figure this out together. As they began brainstorming, the rain became a backdrop to their camaraderie, a rhythmic sound that matched the laughter bubbling from them. They moved from silly ideas to deeper concepts like stories of resilience, and how the fair was a chance for people to find their voices. In moments of brainstorming, Lily caught sight of Crystal, who had found a place among them with ease. The girl was no longer a shadow but an integral part of their mission. Do you think there are others like you out there? Lily asked her, curious about her life. People who might want to join us too? Crystal's expression shifted, a shadow of uncertainty passing over her features. Maybe. But what if they don't want to be seen? Jessica's heart fluttered. Was this girl reflecting their own fears? Sometimes all it takes is someone brave enough to start. Your voice matters, Crystal. At that moment, Lily felt a ripple of determination spread among them. They were doing more than planning a fair. They were building bridges to those who felt alone. With renewed energy, they shared ideas late into the afternoon, words spilling joyfully as their laughter danced with the rain. Yet amid the joy, that earlier shadow lingered. Lily still felt an unseen weight pressing down. A fear clenched tightly in her stomach. As they wrapped up their brainstorming session, Crystal's thoughtful pout caught Lily's attention. What's wrong? She asked softly. The little girl looked into the distance, her thoughts cloaked in uncertainty. What if no one wants to come play? The question hung heavily in the air. Would they be enough to bridge the gap they envisioned? Just beyond the wet leaves, Lily sensed a deeper journey awaited them, a truth that could bind or break them. Together we can do anything, Lily reassured, her voice shaking but firm. But how do we get others to see that? The lingering rain dripped off the pavilion's edge, and as it splattered on the ground, something shifted within Lily. This was just the beginning of something far bigger. Why was she so afraid? What was she really meant to learn in this storm? Could their shared stories be the key to unlocking the hearts waiting out in the rain? The thought weighed on her as they packed up, a promise forming in the notepads and hearts. What would come next? But before she could ponder further, a loud crack of thunder erupted, cutting through their hesitations, as the shadows around them pulsed with the rumblings of the unknown. What awaited them in the murky depths of their desires and fears? The day of the community spring fair dawned bright and clear, casting a warm golden hue over the park. Lily stood alongside Jessica and Eric, heart racing with equal parts excitement and anxiety. They had worked tirelessly for this moment, and now it was finally here. As families began to trickle in, she felt a surge of hope swell within her. The park was transformed, vibrant booths lined the way, each one brimming with laughter, creativity, and the sweet scent of cotton candy. Crystal was busy painting the faces of giggling children, and the sound of music floated through the air, alive with joy and energy. It felt electric, a community coming together to celebrate something special. Lily glanced at Mr. Thompson, who was engaging in hearty conversation by the refreshment stand, easing into the warmth of the crowd around him. It filled her with bittersweet pride. He wasn't just a teacher anymore. He was an essential part of the fabric that now connected them all. With a deep breath, she stepped onto a makeshift stage, her heart pounding as she took the mic in her hand. The crowd quieted, anticipation hanging thick in the air. Thank you all for being here today. She began, her voice steadying with each word. We started this fair because we wanted to show our strength as a community, to remind each other that even in difficult times, together we can rise. Cheers erupted from the crowd, each cheer like a heartbeat pumping life into their shared cause. But then the moment felt fragile, as if the truth they all wanted to share hovered just below the surface. Today, she continued, her voice strong, we will share stories. Real stories. Because every one of us has faced struggles, and in those stories is the power to connect us all. She noticed nods of agreement as faces in the crowd began to soften, recognizing the shared burdens and unspoken realities. The fair kicked off beautifully, laughter bouncing around the park as booths drew crowds. Eric led a spirited scavenger hunt, while Jessica collaborated with local musicians on stage, dipping into heartfelt songs that echoed the stories being shared. But the most touching moments came from the open mic, where people began to step forward, courage causing old fears to melt away. Lily watched in awe as individuals spoke from their heart stories of loss, struggle, and resilience. She felt the air vibrate with every laugh and tear shed. Each person taking the stage wove a deeper tapestry of community, a web of connection and understanding built on shared humanity. When her turn finally came, Lily's legs felt like jelly. Stepping up to the mic, she took a deep breath, heart racing. "All right, my name is Lily Thompson," she began, and silence wrapped around her. The audience completely focused on her. "I have felt alone in this journey and thought my voice didn't matter. But today I stand here because of you all. None of us are alone. We've all endured struggles, and coming together, we can find strength in that." Her voice grew steadier, bolstered by the supportive faces that filled the crowd. "My story isn't unique, but it's mine. When my family faced financial struggles, I felt lost, yet in the darkest moments, I found light through our connections through this community. Together we can rise, and that's exactly what we're doing today." Cheers erupted, ringing through the air like a clarion call, and Lily felt a wave of energy surge through her. The fear she had carried melted away, replaced by a sense of belonging. She had stepped into her truth, and it felt liberating. As she finished, she caught sight of Mr. Thompson clapping, tears glistening in his eyes. The audience rose in a standing ovation, but it was more than applause. It was recognition of shared struggles, their bond formed through transparency and togetherness. The girls and boys who had felt doubt began to stand up, sharing their own stories next, propelled by Lily's courage. The air hummed with connection, a powerful current swirling around the park, binding them like family as the fair went on. Tears mixed with laughter and hearts cracked open in the sun-dappled afternoon. The air smelled of sweet treats and joyous unity, and even the clouds were nowhere in sight. When the time came to announce the earnings from the fair, anticipation gripped the crowd. A local business leader stepped forward, beaming with pride. "Thanks to all of your hard work and dedication, we raised over $10,000. The park erupted in joy, a joyful roar that echoed through the trees. Each face reflected hope and warmth, a deep-seated understanding of what it meant to be in this together. Lily looked around at her friends and neighbors. A profound shift had occurred. They had transformed their struggles into support. They had woven their stories into a beautiful quilt of resilience. Mr. Thompson stepped forward, speechless, looking around with a radiant smile. In that moment, surrounded by love and connection, Lily understood their journey had only just begun. It was time to embrace the beauty of vulnerability and allow others into their hearts. They would continue this work, this open exchange, growing stronger with each step. And as they gathered to celebrate, uniting in this shared victory, Lily knew their community was no longer just a place to live. It was a place where love, laughter, and transformation thrived. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help spread this beautiful journey. Comment your reactions and feelings about this incredible ending. Your voices matter. And share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Don't wait not even one more second to share. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.